Oh my word, I cannot speak. Joe Biden has been caught plagiarizing all his political career, and the evidence is piling up on him. Fox News put out a story about this here recently, guys. Let's take a look at this.
Now to Roger Severino, who's today Heritage Foundation Vice President. So, Roger, why are you deciding to come forward with this now?
Well, the truth has to be told. I read an article in the Washington Post that was exposing the history of Biden lying and exaggerating. You mentioned earlier in a segment about his saying that his car was going to be on fire. That's been exposed. He tends to embellish and he tends to lie. And as your segment showed, he has decades of history doing this. In 1988, he dropped out of the race in part because he was exposed for plagiarizing a speech from a British politician. So that background history was there when this article came across my desk when I was in law school by one Senator Joseph Biden. And I was shocked that it contained plagiarism. He lifted straight out of a dissenting opinion and used those words as his own. And I mean, words like heralds of a new era and things like that tipped me off like, whoa, I've heard this before. And then I checked thoroughly and said, those aren't his words. That's a judge's words that he's trying to take off as his own. And that's just wrong. And the problem is he's been doing this for decades, and the American people have to know he's never owned up to his plagiarism scandals and his constant embellishment.
So, Roger, was this just one paragraph in the article, or did you find multiple?
Oh yeah, plagiarism scandals, constant embellishments. He said one time that he graduated top of his class in law school, which turns out he did not graduate top of his class. He graduated 76 of his class with C's and D's. C's and D's, guys. This is a guy that does anything and everything to get what he wants. Money, power. He transforms like a chameleon. These are political careers, guys. It's a shame.
Instances of plagiarism.
Yeah, there were multiple instances where he took the words of the judge as his own. He was trying to make a point about the Violence Against Women Act law that he was a sponsor of, and took the shortcut is what I think happened, either that or his ghostwriters. But you have to understand, he has this history of plagiarism, and this had been known for years, and you would think he would have been very careful to make sure that whatever words he says are his own. But no.
And your editor covered it up at the Harvard Journal?
Well, yeah, you would imagine at Harvard Law School, the demographics of the typical student are probably very sympathetic to Joe Biden then as now. So yes, I did my duty. I presented it to him and said, look, this clearly violates the Harvard manuals that say you cannot do this mosaic plagiarism where you try to change the words of here and there to try to cover up the plagiarism. And I think they sanitized it and then they let it go. They just quietly said, acted like it never happened. But, you know, the article's been published.
And what year was this around again?
99, 2000.
So this was after all of the times he got caught. Okay.
Yeah, he stopped running for president in '88 over plagiarism.
So he's learned nothing.
Did it again.
Okay. So, all right. Well, thanks for coming forward. It's important to come forward and gotta cite your sources.
Hey, Sean.
Oh boy, Joey Boy has had a very scandalous political career as a snake slithering through the grass. I don't know how he's made it this far, but he has, and he's continuing to step up even higher, now making the position of President of the United States and is going into the general election to 2024, where he will be running against Donald J. Trump if he's able to stop him with these constant indictments. So far, he's up to 91 indictments, where he recently took a jail photo mugshot in Fulton County, Georgia, where he had to turn himself in over the alleged attempt to overturn the election in Georgia. Guys, this is pretty crazy right here. Election interference at the highest level. It's going through the journalism. Anyway, guys, let's take a look at his scandalous plagiarism chronicles. Watch this.
But this standard is not a measure of how we can evaluate the condition of our society. It cannot measure the health of our children, the quality of our education, the joy of their play.
Guys, this is 1987. 1987 Joe Biden. He's gonna be maybe 40s, maybe. I don't know, maybe, because he's damn near 100 and this is 87. But here he is plagiarizing one of the Kennedys.
Yet the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children, the quality of their education, or the joy of their play.
Let us pledge that our generation...
Oh boy, That's RFK. He's actually running against them in the 2024 general elections. And there is Joey Boy in 87 plagiarizing one of his speeches.
Generation of Americans will pay any price, bear any burden, accept any challenge, and meet any hardship to secure the blessings of prosperity and the promise of opportunity for our children. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship.
That's two Kennedy brothers. There's RFK and now JFK that he's plagiarizing. Damn, Joe.
Support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. And I started thinking as I was coming over here, why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why am I the first Kinnick in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family
Damn.
in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart. It's not because they didn't work as hard.
Look at the face of a man who has zero shame for plagiarism. Constantly doing it over years since 87 when he plagiarized RFK, and then JFK, and then the British guy. Dang, this guy has no bounds. He will do and say anything to do what he needs to do and say what he needs to say to get where he's trying to get.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had because they didn't have the talent or the strength or the endurance or the commitment? Of course not. It was because there was no platform upon which they could stand.
Boy, oh boy. Slippery Joe Biden there, plagiarism throughout his whole career. No shame in his game, guys. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my videos. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.